Hello, guys. This is James again. We're at the sixth episode. Let's get to the story. So, according to some ancient Chinese books, people were created not by Nuwa the goddess, but rather by Nuwa and her brother Fu Xi together. As you can see here, it was a stormy evening. Lightnings were branching through the dark cloud. Kra! Some of them were almost crushing the roof of the little cottage. Baby Nuwa and baby Fuxi were covering in the corner of the house. They were so scared. Their father was not at home, and something ominous seemed to happen. Father! Father! When will you be back? They liked to call out of the window, but instead, they muffled their own voice as they were worried someone or something close enough in the sky was listening to them. In the meanwhile, the father was rushing back home. He knew better than his children. No one else can do lightning like this. The scary lightning god is coming down, he thought to himself, and started to dash through the wetland. As he was running and running, the lightning god descended from the cloud and landed onto the roof of the cottage. Its heavy weight crushed most of the rafters. Rain started to fall in the house. Nuwa and Fuxi shrieked, "Ah!" when they finally saw the lightning god. It was a giant bird with feathers like iron. Small bolts of lightning were creeping around its eyes, and the eyes did not look friendly. The father shouted out, "How dare you!" He produced a weapon from his sleeves and charged toward the lightning god. The giant bird lifted into the air and dove onto the man with its sharp talons as its weapon. Their weapons clashed with a large bang sound, and the large force from the clash pushed both them backwards for hundreds of feet. Then they charged again and clashed again. By and by, the man started to pant more and more. He was not going to make it. He collapsed onto the ground, and the bird shot into the sky, then plunged right toward the man on the ground. As its talons were about to rip the man up, a large iron cage showed up in the man's place, and the man himself disappeared. The cage magically locked the bird up as it knocked into it so fast without any time to retreat. Ha 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 ha! I've been preparing this moment for years. Finally, you took the bait. The man shouted. You used your own children as the bait? What kind of father are you? The bird snarled. No more trash talk. Now, my plan is to go to the town and get some spice. Then we're gonna figure out a way of how to start our chicken feast. The man smirked. How dare you? I'm the god who is in charge of all the lightning power in the universe, and you take me as a chicken? Do not say I've not warned you. Bite what you can chew, old man. The bird was furious. Ah, whatever. Then the man turned to his children and said, I'll be back soon from the spice market. Remember, no matter what happens, do not give him water. Yes, father, the children said. After the father was gone, the bird turned itself into an old man, weak and mild. He called for the children in a begging voice. Please, please give me some water. I'm about to die. Pity this old man. Fu Xi said to his sister. That's a trick. Don't fall for it. The lightning god then turned itself into a little lovely bird and called out again. Please, just a little drop. You're not going to watch me dry out, are you? Nuwa did not have the heart to bear this anymore. She fetched a bottle of water, and after a drop of taste, the little bird turned into the original lightning god. As he was about to leave the house, he wrenched one of his teeth out and handed it to Nuwa. Take this and plant it in the field, he said. It will save your lives when the great flood comes. Fu Xi and Nuwa planted the tooth in the soil. A plant grew out in no time, and soon enough, the plant had a giant gourd on it already. When the father returned and found out that the lightning god already escaped, he knew they were all doomed. He had no time to blame the children, but started to build an iron boat. He knew the great flood was coming. One evening, the flood came out of nowhere. It rose so high that it almost touched the moon. Everything in the world was destroyed. The man took his boat. The two children hopped into the gourd that grew out from the lightning god's tooth. The flood rose higher and higher until the father could touch the door of the heaven where the gods and goddesses lived. He banged the door and begged the gods to bring down the flood. At the end, the flood was brought down, but it fell down so suddenly the father's iron boat fell down from the sky like a rock. He then was killed. However, Nuwa and Fu Xi survived. Since their gourd is soft and bouncy, the gourd bounced on the ground like boom, 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 and they realized that the mankind was already wiped off the surface of the earth by the flood. They got married at the end at the world tree called Jiemu, the center of the world, and they gave birth to a new race of people. Alright guys, that's the end of the story. The story is a little confusing because it is different from the last one when Nuwa created people, right? The Chinese myth series are made for you who are aged from 5 to 10. And you're also encouraged to watch the episodes with your parents. Each episode is no longer than 10 minutes. Please do not spend too much time on your phone. Try to go out and spend as much time as possible with the nature, as that is the best place where we learn things, right? You will find that these photos don't really go with the Chinese myth and they're not so Chinese. I will totally agree with you, and trust me, I've tried all the tools I know of so far to manipulate Midjourney to make these photos right for the Chinese myth, and I've tried for so many times until I ran out of credit and wrote over the deadline. I will continue to try on this for our next episode. Anyways, guys, thanks for the support and love all along. You guys are the best. Alright, have a nice day. Be nice to your folks. I'll see you next time.